Hello and welcome back to episode 4 of the Azalea Cult. I'm here with Jim from Fam TCG Cards as always. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, Colt? It's going well. It's glad to be back.
Yeah, it's been a while. It seems like it's been a while at least because I've been gallivanting in France over the last week or so. And had a few things planned. I was going to do the interview with Justin. That is still on the card, so you will see that on the Azalea Cult eventually. It is being organised, but yeah, just a little bit of chaos in the background because of Lille and what have you. So yeah, welcome back, cultists of our supreme leader, leader Azalea. Praise be.
Praise be.
Praise be. Brilliant. And as you can see on the screen as well, before we get into the main topic, which is all about sort of armour, equipment, cosplay, and all the pieces that Azalea wears, we welcome Lynnette onto the show as well. So she's the OG cosplayer of the Azalea. So how's it going? How are you today?
Good. Nice this morning.
Yeah. So you've woken up extra early to get onto the cult today, which is fantastic. So great commitment to the cause, as always, from all of our members out there. Brilliant. And on this show, of course, you can come to expect deep dives into our favourite characters' arsenal, explore all the intricacies of what makes Azalea tick, all of her card synergies, and what we'd love to see from her in the future, and what the community would want to see from her in the future as well. So before we get into it, please make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the little bell notification for any notifications of the Azalea Cult episodes as they come out. And make sure you join the Discord as well. So it is the Go Again Gaming Discord, but there's a subsection there for the Azalea Cult, and it's been pretty lively since we started. There's a lot of people in there now chatting all things Azalea all the time, which is great. So I love to see it. And of course,
that's going to help, I think, bring her to the top. That community that's building up in the chat there, exchanging strategies, etc. I think that's how we're going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. People are thinking, oh, do I go wide? Do I go tall? What do I do? How do I do this? How do I use that? So yeah, there's a lot of bubbling around in that echo chamber. And when we get to Dynasty and we see more stuff there, we are going to get more and more support, as was confirmed on the last Living Legends podcast, or the one before. But we'll get to that in a moment. So that's some good news. And of course, in the Discord, you can submit your entries into the competitions that are involved in this channel as well. And get scoops on the upcoming episode. So first of all, we have obviously Lynnette on the cult today, on the episode today. So let's just dive into a bit of yourself and your bit of background as to how you got into Flesh and Blood first, or maybe your card game background and how that all sort of came to pass and how you've made it here today.
Okay, so I played Magic, obviously, for a few years, probably since about 2017, around Theros, the Greek mythology set. And my friend, who also is the guy who introduced me to Magic, told me about this new set, a new thing coming up. I was working on the day that they had this event, and it was the pre-release for Welcome to Ray. So I went along after they'd finished up, and they did a little learn to play for me on that day. And that's kind of my first introduction. And of course, I only had a choice of 4, so I went with Ninja. So when I first built an Azalea deck, it was a go wide deck.
Yeah, yeah, imagine so. Yeah,
one with what you knew. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much how I got into Fab. Yeah.
And you was you doing cosplay for Magic before? Because I remember seeing like a Liliana cosplay, which I'll try and float up on the screen now. So were you doing Magic cosplay as well beforehand?
Yeah, so Liliana was the first one I made myself, but my first delve was actually Elspeth Sun's Champion, because she was obviously from that set that I first started in.
Yeah.
I'm sure they killed her off, but then they brought her back later on. But
yeah. Nice.
But at this stage I got it made, I got someone to make it for me, because all the cosplay thing at that stage was a bit daunting.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine. A lot of moving parts and a lot of stuff to do, isn't there?
Oh, that was a very hot costume because it was a
full armor and stuff. Yeah, I imagine so. Yeah. Nice. So obviously you said you obviously played Ninja a lot. Obviously, what drew you to Azalea then? Obviously, because that's a lot different, isn't it? I know there's obviously some sort of go again cards in Azalea, but it is at the moment it is very much maybe shooting one arrow seems to be the main consensus. So what was the draw to Azalea then for you back then?
And I also play D&D. So
Cool.
I
Yeah.
play Ranger in D&D. So when the art came up and there was this dark figure,
Hmm.
we couldn't tell the first artwork. You couldn't tell if it was a male or female. But
Hmm.
this dark character with a bow, and I was like, that looks like a bit of me. I might play that.
Oh wow! I didn't know there was a. Obviously, I got into Fab like pre-Monarch, so all of this like completely skips
It was
me.
some of the teaser art, kind of like they do or whatever.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Ah,
Also in the lore book, some dark in there as well.
nice.
There was a little bit of arcane and tidbits in the back of there as well.
Yeah.
Um, so I thought, oh yeah, I'll play this character, and then when I got into playing here, because also I opened to Skull cross wraps
Mhm.
early days,
Yeah.
so that's kind of a sign also. Um,
Nice.
I went into her backstory. Her backstory is really interesting with the whole survival story, and then also the trickery to get her first bounty. So
Mhm. Yeah.
I have grown up as visually impaired, so I was always told, I can't do this, can't do that. And I was like, no, bugger you, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So I like her story because it kind of reflects that kind of my backstory.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part as well. Like the whole sort of underdog story, the people that were struggling maybe growing up. There's a big psychological thing behind it. I think as well as to why people like to play the underdog characters or the people that are deemed to be in the pits and struggling and doing all these things. So there's a big psychological thing behind it, and I think that draws a lot of people to Azalea. They want to play the hero that's known to be the worst or the most challenging, and therefore the rewards when you win are so much better.
Say having a connection to the character, like you just said, really helps be attached to it and get into it. So that's pretty awesome to hear.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we'll probably go into the story and a lot more and maybe invite you back for that because obviously you seem like you're well versed in the story there. So when we delve into that, I'm sure we will on this series in the future. Maybe we can get you back to explore that more because yeah, it's definitely something that we can talk about. But going into Azalea, what's your favourite thing about her then, do you think, Lynnette? What's your favourite thing about Azalea?
Um,
Could be mechanics, could be story, could be anything really.
I do like the whole being able to exchange the card in your arsenal and dominate it. But it's good because you can kind of finish people off with it.
Yeah.
You got to do it at the right time. It's a timing thing, and it's I think it's a lot of strategy. With Azalea, you can't pitch stack if you're running knock the death whistle, so you're doing a lot of relying on being able to see what's next. So I like that kind of strategy. You can't just sit there and pitch stack. I'm starting to learn that with Lexi because pitch stacking was exactly foreign to me, but
Yeah. Wow. So
playing a lot of Azalea.
yeah, that's a high skill level thing, isn't it? Pitch stacking and remembering what's coming back round. And I didn't think that would be a thing in Azalea, but who knows? Maybe that is the key. Who knows?
Yep.
But yeah, maybe that.
I don't know. I think I prefer knock, like you were saying. Then I don't have to worry about the pitch stack memorization.
Yeah, exactly.
There's enough to worry about.
Yeah, that's right. We're on the back foot straight away when someone says, "Oh, we're playing," or "I'm playing Azalea," they're like, "Auto win." Not necessarily, but yeah, we like to.
No.
Yeah, exactly. We like to make it hard, and that's another thing why I like playing it as well, is because people automatically think they're on the front foot. When you start to make them sweat a little bit, they're like, "Oh wow, I'm getting dominated 3 times in a row, what have you." It's a nice feeling when you're punching them with the aforementioned underdog hero. So,
Yeah.
but what you said about timing as well, timing the dominate, maybe that's also something that needs to be explored more because I try and dominate every time. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe you need to just fire arrows off, to try and strip cards from hand and then dominate when the timing is right, rather than trying to dominate every single time. So maybe that's something as well that needs to be explored. So leave a comment in the section below if that's your play style because I haven't tried that.
You have your Guardian Ranger from the one event that just basically blocked the whole first half of the game and then had the deck set up to be ready to dominate like that. But you could also like I kind of play it when you're using all the ops. Like I don't blind Azalea much, so just use an op. If there's one there, maybe throw it off if you need it, and then if it's not there, you're just gonna play your hand.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm kind of working on a Dreadbore 2 arrows build at the moment, so.
Yeah, Dreadbore's my favourite, and that was the overall favourite in the bow episode. Me, Red Zone Rogue, and Mr. Jim there all was like, yeah, Dreadbore's the best one, and rightly so. I love the fact that it strips an entire card type away. You know, it messes around with the hand composition. It's lovely.
I was going on the fact that it makes it stronger by one, so that means that you got auto go again some of the arrows that are free. Yeah,
bolt and shot. Yeah, that's right. Cool. So obviously you've cosplayed as Azalea multiple times before, and I will try and float some pictures up here. So are you ever going to build the cross wrap? Because that is a scary helmet, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been doing some research. I don't know if anyone knows that Evil Ted, he does quite a few helmets, so I've been doing some research to see how about to make that.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I'm working on a bag.
Oh, nice.
Got to do chroma though. The Pitts Dragon.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be amazing. That's very cool.
Yeah, it's just a bag.
A chromite bag.
Yeah, take it with me to Nattrass.
Yeah, sounds good. Sweet.
Speaking of, real quick, I just want to thank you properly for the dice bag and the playmat bag. Our mutual friend there that brought it over. And is that who got you in, right, Ian?
No, it wasn't actually Ian.
It wasn't Ian. Okay.
It wasn't Ian, but Ian's been a really good supporter of mine. Him and Alan. Alan as well. Been a real good supporter of mine.
Well, anyway, thanks a lot for those bags. I still use them. They're so cool.
Yeah, and I thought I must as well stick those little skulls in for you because I thought they were very on point.
They're my favorite. I use them for my counters exclusively.
Nice. Well, if you could send a picture to me, I'll overlay the graphics on here as to what you're referring to. So it's a playmat bag and dice bag, is it? Nice.
Yeah, that she actually created herself, made herself. So it's really slick. I'll definitely pass those over.
Yeah, awesome. So you can see those images right now, and that's what Lynnette makes for special people like Jim from Fab TCG Cards. Brilliant. So yeah, we're going to look at the equipment fairly briefly because there isn't much to look at the moment with regards to Ranger equipment, and maybe we'll get some more stuff in Dynasty because obviously the Dynasty spoilers or sort of article was released, and we are getting sort of Marvel equipments and throne room type equipment. So maybe it is going to be like the old supplementary sets where we get more armor pieces and weapons and all that sort of thing, because that's where a supplementary set can shine. They can sort of chuck that sort of stuff in there, can't they?
Absolutely. Here's to hoping for that chess piece, right?
Yeah, chess piece or whatever. And good, yeah, exactly. And a good time to say as well, I'm not sure if we've announced it on the Azalea Cult yet, but it has been confirmed. Chris Bewley said in the Living Legends podcast that the Azalea Cult Go Again Gaming has been rewarded a preview card for the Azalea Cult. So it's going to be an Azalea-based card. So what that's going to mean, I don't know. Maybe it is an equipment. Maybe it's just an action that eliminates armor or whatever it is. We'll see. But stay tuned.
So it's super hype no matter what it is.
Exactly.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. So, yeah, expect to see myself and Jim cover that in a lot of detail when it comes out. And also, when the Dynasty spoilers start coming out for generic Ranger stuff, we'll try and get more sort of hot take style episodes on the cult as they come out to discuss that. So yeah, it's good times. But anyway, the head pieces that we have and the armor pieces that we have at the moment are fairly limited, but we'll go through them fairly quickly on what we have at the moment. So first of all, we'll look at the Skullbone cross wrap, because this is probably the one that synergizes with Azalea the most. Albeit there have been sort of arguments for New Horizon and that as well, but we can get into that in a moment. But yeah, Skullbone cross wrap is the one, really, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I love how you're just like,
pretty exclusively.
It is.
Yeah,
yeah, pretty exclusively. So this is a Ranger equipment head, and it's very interesting looking. I think there's like teeth in there in some of the holes on the front of the head, which is quite interesting. But yeah, it's a one block blade break. So if you block with it, it just destroys itself. Does have one arcane barrier, and then it has the once per turn action where you can turn a face down card in your arsenal face up, opt one, and go again. So obviously that synergizes with the ability to sort of look into the future and see if there's an arrow on top that you want to dominate or what have you. So pretty good and pretty pivotal to the overall strategy, I feel.
I think too we were talking about the helmet earlier. You know possibly creating it or whatnot. It's so steampunk to me, or at least a bit steampunk. And so I think we're definitely seeing, a mech interaction there. That's what I'm hoping for, like a dual class mech ranger.
Mech ranger.
Just because some mech stuff seems to be, as we've talked about previously in other episodes, making its way into the art of some of the ranger cards.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, being in the pits and taking everything from the upper world, so that would make sense.
Yeah. Exactly, and
scraps basically.
Yeah, all the scraps and just melding it into this monstrosity of a headpiece that we see here, which is good as on flavour. And with regards to the conversation around seeing steampunky things in other pieces of art, I did speak to the Ira of Mysteria cosplayer, Valera, and she has noticed it as well. So a lot of people have noticed it, like the art on Blade Runner. There's it's a warrior card, but ultimately there's steampunky vibes on it. So maybe Everfest was alluding to that all along, because now we have a warrior wizard with the Emperor.
Dual classing is now a thing, which I'm so excited about.
Exactly, yeah. So it's going to be interesting, and the fact that equipment also now can grant talents, in the fact that you obviously got royal, which is probably like a dual class enabler that you can stick on. So we can have Queen Azalea now. She can become Royal Queen Azalea.
Absolutely. Supreme leader.
Yeah. But yeah, I wouldn't want to switch out the cross wrap just yet, Lynnette. You're right, exactly. But yeah, so obviously with the Skullbone cross wrap, the funny thing about this is it interacts with face down cards in your arsenal. So it's a weird thing, because Azalea's bows put things in their face up. So it's a bit of a strange thing, and getting things in their face up is you have a lot of reload mechanics in Arcane Rising, but there isn't too many ways of getting things in there face down, unless you're putting it in the arsenal face down at the end of your turn.
In a setup turn, yeah.
Or using the reload mechanic, unless you can think of anything else. But there isn't really many ways to do that, unfortunately.
Yeah, pretty much the reload mechanic. But there's a good portion of cards that have the reload mechanic.
Yeah, there's a few. I mean, if we just
the defense react has it. There's some enough instances of it, I think, to have that, and then
yeah. And that's a good thing about cross wrap as well, is that a lot of cards might not opt, but if you reload a card in there, all of the cards that say reload on it then become an opt with the cross wrap. So you're basically turning any cards that you have in your deck, as long as you reload them in there, you're turning them into an opt. So you can basically turn other cards into opters that wouldn't usually allow you to do so, which is quite good. So you could potentially use things like Take Aim. So use Take Aim, that reloads a memorial ground into your arsenal, which you then flip up to opt one. And if that's an arrow, you can dominate it, get rid of that dead memorial ground in hand. So yeah, it is nice to be able to filter like that. But I just hope we see more reload going forward, because again, it's one of those things that a lot of people are crying out for in previous episodes. Like, people are asking, I want more reload on our bows, or stuff that allows us to reload more. So we'll see.
We had some, as we'll see here in a bit, we've got some ideas from the submissions this week of other ways to kind of reload, but not with the traditional reload mechanic.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, Skullbone cross wrap is the go-to at the moment. We do have two other options, but mainly they are for other things, really. So New Horizon was the one that was released in Tales of Aria, and this is a Ranger equipment head, so it can be used by Azalea, but obviously it's meant for Lexi, or maybe meant for Lexi. So it says, while you have a face-up card in your arsenal, you have an additional arsenal zone, blocks for 2, it also has blade break. and then when New Horizon is destroyed, destroy all cards in your arsenal. So there has been speak about maybe using Azalea with this, but I don't think it really works, to be honest.
Right. It really doesn't, just because Azalea's ability and the other abilities from Crosswrap, etc., don't jive with it. They're playing it with one zone. There was that little I don't want to call it an exploit. It was a way around the rules for a little while there, where people were putting double stacked cards in an arsenal or whatever. They quickly repaired that.
Yeah. So blocks for 2, I guess. But obviously with Azalea, you do want that foresight with the cross wrap. So cross wrap wins over this. I mean, there has been discussions about trying to use this and going wide with Azalea, but again, it's just too clunky with New Horizon. You'd rather just sort of see what's coming for the Azalea's ability potentially going off, rather than going wide potentially with New Horizon. So yeah, not really much to write home about that at the moment. And then we've got Honing Hood, which I think is more of a combo-y sort of piece. Maybe if you've got a 3 of a kind turn going off, you can sometimes save yourself. This 3 of a kind is so sad. It really is. It's so sad. It's such an Azalea card, but it's just so sad in the Azalea deck, unfortunately. It's just such a great Lexi card. Yeah. But Honing Hood, so it doesn't block for anything. You can, in instant speed, you can destroy it and return all cards in your arsenal to your hand, then put a card from your hand face down into your arsenal. So, yeah, it's just not something we want to be using in Azalea, is it? Let's be honest.
No.
Not particularly.
May I suggest for common, a talismanic lens is probably pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. So that's one thing I don't have on the list at all. So there's obviously generic equipments as well. So for the aforementioned commoner, we've got the talismanic lens. So I can't remember what it does off the top of my head. Do you know what it does, Lynnette? Just while I'm bringing it up, I can't remember what it does.
Gives you an opt, right?
It gives you an opt, so you're able to see what's on top. So for commoner, that's probably a viable choice.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, bring it up now. So I'll flash it up on screen. So doesn't block for anything. Instant speed. You can destroy it to opt 2. So in commoner, going 2 cards deep to potentially dominate on a finishing turn. Lovely old job. And is there any other sort of generic pieces? I'm just looking at FabDB now as to if there's any other generic pieces for helmets. There isn't really. Obviously, you've got the Arcanite Skull Cap, which I guess just blocks, doesn't really do anything for Azalea at all. Null Rune stuff, Ragamuffin's hat, nothing really that she can use so yeah, cross wrap, definitely the one to use at the moment. If we see another headpiece in the future, maybe we can toss it up again, but that's the one that's winning in this battle here at the moment. So going on to the arms, the only sort of ranger arms we've had so far are these ones, and these are the bullseye bracers. So these are just a staple at the moment for Azalea players, because it gives you Arcane Barrier 1, which is always nice, but the action on it is destroy it. If you have no cards in your arsenal, put an arrow card from your hand face up into the arsenal. It gets +1 to end of turn and go again. So just giving you a little extra buff, putting something into your arsenal for free, and then just being able to fire it off is always a nice little lifesaver every now and again.
Yeah, absolutely. It can surprise an opponent here and there when you kind of pop it off and do a little extra damage.
Yeah. And sometimes the extra one is sometimes all you need to get that little on-hit effect through that you're looking for, potentially. And I'm just looking at other options for arms or braces. And again, there isn't really much to use here. Unfortunately, someone in the cult Discord was like, maybe use braces of belief, but I just don't think it's you can try it by all means, but I just don't think it's the one. I think bullseye braces is the one and only at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that null rune.
Yeah, and null, exactly. Yeah, you got Arcane Barrier 1 on there as well, so
yeah, pretty much a that with null rune is a must for Icelander Arcana.
Yeah, exactly. Cool, and then obviously the only pair of legs that we currently have are Perch Grapplers. These came in Crucible, and obviously these block for 2. This is probably one of the only reasons you put them in there. From what I've found anyway, I've never really used the ability. Only maybe once I've used the ability in an actual game. But yeah, blocks for 2, blade breaks. Obviously when you block with it, it breaks. And then as an action, you can pay 2, so a yellow card. Ideally destroy Perch Grapplers instead of turn, face up arrow cards played from arsenal, gain go again, and then go again. So there isn't too much of this. Trying to go wide with Azalea is quite difficult. And obviously we got things like this.
Yeah.
We got things like
snappies,
snappies as well, which can do it. So I think if
you're
you are
right, I think we're all running the grapplers for the block purely. Yeah, there's not a solid other option.
Yeah,
definitely for the block.
Yeah, exactly. Snapdragons is better if there is a reason in your deck for wanting to go wide on one specific turn, or maybe using it as a pivot tool. If you don't care about the 2 block, then sometimes Snapdragons can just give you that extra bit of wideness. But again, I just don't think that's something you want to be doing in Azalea. It's just, for me at least, it's one big arrow every turn most of the time. Although I have been playing it more defensively recently. But yeah, so that's pretty much all we have. The boots, there's no other boot options really. You don't want to be running any of the Ironhide stuff, because the ability on there is you can sometimes use it, and it blocks for 2. So that's pretty much all you're ever gonna look at there at the moment. But as you can see here, there is a lack of chest equipment for Ranger. We don't have any chest equipment right now.
So, I mean, I'd almost say a lack of legs as well. We're just blocking with it.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I mean, that if you look at other class equipments, it's sometimes it's the block, but mainly it's the ability, like spellbound creepers and phantasmal footsteps, and all of these ridiculously good abilities on the equipments are what Ranger is lacking at the moment. We don't have any really good abilities on the equipments, do we? Really, right now?
No, we're missing
not at all.
Gaps.
Yeah, so none that are really that usable anyway. I mean, yeah. So hopefully, is it coming in Dynasty? I don't know. There is a strong hint that we are getting a lot more of equipment pieces and weapons coming in this set because of the Royal Throne Room sort of flavour that they've spoiled recently. So we've got that all to look forward to in November when preview season starts. So yeah.
We're on there's only been 2 other supplemental sets, but Ranger's gotten equipment in the other 2, so stands to reason.
Yeah. Yeah. So in Crucible we had the grapplers,
right?
And then in Everfest,
I mean, honing hood, right? Technically, but
right, yeah, okay. And then we had the bow as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dreadbore,
Kel's card, brilliant. Still love it to this day. Fantastic. Great. So at the moment, there isn't really much choice as to what we can have. So what would you say your favourite equipment is at the moment? And obviously we can do a little seal of approval for each person like we did before. Who's going first?
I can go.
Go on
then. I'm actually just going to say the cross wrap, just because it's very defining of Azalea and jives with her directly, has cool art. Just a whole package. It's going to be my pick.
Nice. Lynnette?
Yeah, I'm going for the cross wrap as well.
Cool. Epic. For all the reasons already disclosed, I will also be doing the cross wrap as well. So a home run for the absolute original headpiece for Ranger in Arcane Rising Skullbone cross wrap, which is probably one of the cheapest legendaries you can ever get right now. Let's be honest. So get them while you can, because obviously we're going to get Azalea stuff in Dynasty. So get all your Azalea cards while you can, because who knows what can happen in Dynasty. So yeah. So now we move on to a lot of the community stuff, and a lot of the tales and Twitters and hashtag Azalea cults and all that sort of thing. But first of all, I wanted to just go through a load of lovely responses that we had to the fact that I'm getting the first preview card for Go Again Gaming and the Azalea cult. So I just wanted to read out a few of those for whoever was wishing me great things going forward. So first of all, I just thought I'd put you at the front here. Fabled Hero NZ. So as you can see, flashing up now, I've got all the lovely people that have contributed to this conversation. And Lynnette, you said, "Congratulations, you have earned it. Can't wait for the spice," with a nice little arrow there. So thanks very much for that. Next we had Kiki, Quicksilver Prodigy, saying, "Amazing, well done, my friend," which was nice. And I said, "Can't wait to share it with everybody." Yeah. Lovely. quality. Then we had Lost in Space saying, I have no idea what the card could be. Yeah. So it's a trap. But you know me, I'd be happy with a trap as a spoiler. You know, I love traps.
If it was a trap that made all the other traps useful, hey.
Oh, we'll get to that in the community designs in a moment, because people love traps. People want to see them playable. I was actually running traps in the CC events that I played at Lille, the side events against Guardians. I was running traps, and they did okay, but Guardians just crippled me in general, crippling crush. Dead Summer Art from Australia. Or was he New Zealand? I can't remember. I think it is Australia, isn't it? Saying that Azalea gets the assassin talent, potentially. So I think that could be a thing. Obviously, we've seen the fact that dual classes are now a thing. Maybe that's what they do.
I was going to say, is assassin going to be a talent or a class? I think assassin might be a class, but now we've seen we can have the dual classes, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll probably see. Yeah, assassin is in the lore book. That's right. So maybe we'll see an assassin in Dynasty, because in the lore there's assassins running around, as Kel said in Living Legends. But once we introduce the assassin, we can then look at maybe giving other characters the assassin ability if they want, like they're doing with the royal helmet thing. So yeah, it's not too far off. I reckon it could happen in the future. Mike Williams saying, great news, bud. Can't wait to see more. I'm like, yeah, I'm really excited to share what it is, because there's a lot of people that like Azalea and want to see her supported, so it's good. Breezy saying, yes, all hail Azalea. # the Azalea cult. Thanks, Breezy. And again, cannot wait to in this message I said, cannot wait to shoe everyone. Cannot wait to shoe everyone. I'll do a shoey. If it's a good card, we'll do it live on the Azalea cult, and I'll make a sick video for it. Fabled Academy, Alex, thank you very much. Deserved, banging. I met him at Lille. He was a nice guy. Does great work for documentaries of Flesh and Blood events.
Oh yeah, their videos are fantastic.
Yeah, very nice. So thanks, Alex. Bottom tier commenting saying, we might have to take Azalea off of our logo after this reveal. Can't wait to see. So they must be an account dedicated to the low tier heroes, and Azalea's in their artwork, obviously. So yeah, who knows? You know, is she going to be at least A tier? At least does something, you know? But we'll see. Can't wait to see. Kugane from Belgium, an Azalea preview card of all things. Is Azalea getting a star of the show treatment? She really needs one. Yeah, we spoke about this as well, didn't we, Jim? We don't want her to be that good.
Yeah, I was going to say it is conflicted. We don't want that treatment, because then obviously there's going to be only people playing Azalea.
Yeah, exactly. We still want it to be sort of, you know, the underground hero, the sort of can still get good results here and there, but not ridiculously overplayed.
We don't want to lose her to LL.
No, we don't. No, exactly.
Not too quickly like that. Yeah.
No, exactly. Cool. And then we've got some other sort of Azalea gameplay and tales out in the wild. So first of all, we've got Del Figallo 5, recently joined the Discord a few weeks ago, and they're saying, took Azalea to a blitz skirmish today and finished top 4 with a little arrow emoji, and got my first cold foil hero as well. So Azalea contributing to their first cold foil hero reward, and that was a nice little Dromai that they got. And their battle report was they played through a Kano, a Bravo, and a Briar to get to top 8. All rough matchups, but I pulled through. # FabTCG, # Azalea Cult. Lovely. Played through a Kano in Blitz. Wow.
That is pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah. Nice. Bravo, yeah, so obviously always a tough one, especially if you can get crippling crushed twice in a row like I did in Lille. Goodness me, it just wasn't getting back from that. And then Briar seems to be if you can get Red in the Ledgers through, you know, in Blitz, maybe that's contributing to the result there. Shame there's no actual battle reports, but nice to know the matchups to get him to top 8. So good job, well done. Cool. Scrolling down the list, we've got Wifey from Goblin Reserve. Wifey Wednesday will be a little bit delayed today for multiple reasons. One of them being a Commoner League today via Fab TCG Online. So a lot of people playing Fab TCG Online now as well. And that was # Azalea Cult versus Bravo. Pray for our leader, she said.
She's kind of taken to Azalea, which is awesome. So she's definitely in the cult.
Yeah, definitely. It was one of our top heroes, wasn't it? I think as well. So rightly done. I'm not sure she's left us hanging there on the result of that battle there on Final Fantasy Online, but we'll see.
We can only assume what that means, but we won't go there.
Exactly. Yeah. Brilliant. And we got Black Air Force Runeblade. Again, playing on Fantasy Online. So a lot of people playing on Fantasy Online, and probably a nice way to experiment with Azalea, because if you don't have the cards or haven't played her before, Fantasy Online will allow you to build a deck around Azalea and test her, and you can get that feel as to whether you want to put yourself through that punishment again and again and again before you actually buy the cards. So yeah, they're saying they got one win and one loss versus Briars, and then they're playing against a Kano now by the looks of it. I'm not sure what the result was of that, and then they posted another one saying "Fi, more like bye, I'll let myself out." So I think they maybe got crushed by Fi in that screenshot there, which is all going to be appearing on screen for you.
If you can't stop that go wide play with Ledger or something, then you're toast.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to go around.
Yeah, just dumping your hand, like blocking every time. It's hard to get tempo back, isn't it? Never mind, eh? I'm sure we'll get there. Wait for Dynasty, people. Don't lose hope just yet. Then we got Scott Weave saying, "Praise be to our glorious leader, the Dark Lady Azalea." Using praise be, yeah, exactly. Only one Azalea at the event, 1-6 overall. I love the results.
But hey,
here.
There's a one.
There's one. I love it. I love the commitment to people just playing it, even though they know they're in for it. Do you know what I mean? That's the good thing. Every opponent within 6 life. So I hit a 2-card Gorganian Tome on a Briar in round 6, drawing into 2 Rabbles and finding our Dark Lady a much needed victory with a headshot finisher. Headshot is another card I don't use enough. Maybe I should. So you like
fan of the headshot? You
like it, don't you? Yeah,
I do.
Yeah. I'm thinking about running. Yeah, I'm thinking about running the blues in there, because obviously the blues for resource if needed, block 3 if needed, arcane barrier 3 if needed, and then obviously it becomes a 5. I think it's is it a 3 plus 2 with the blue headshot? I think it is, isn't it?
Or is it 2? I think it just goes to 4, but it's still worth running because obviously that's above a normal 3 block.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it goes to 4, so plus 2 if it's put in there face up. But with Dreadbore, could be a 5 if you put it in there with Dreadbore. So, cool. Yep. So I said thanks for the report. We'll feature it on the next episode. So you're featuring it right now there, Scott. And he's currently working on a Azalea OTK 29 points of damage turn 1 off of a full nut draw.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this one because I don't know.
No, I don't know either. That's got to be some.
Everything's got to line up.
It has, yeah, exactly. That's what I found with Free of a Kind as well. Like trying to, if I look at Free of a Kind and think this is a buff card in Azalea, because you just want to be hitting. You have to play it from hand with a card in your arsenal that allows you to reload, and then you just need a massive load of reload chains to take aim. So you play Free of a Kind, you draw 3 cards, and then you play your take aim from your arsenal, which then allows you to get +3 on your next attack or +2. Then you reload a card from your hand, hoping it's a reloader, to then play it again to reload another card. So as long as you can get a massive load of reload chains off of a Free of a Kind, you can look at the Free of a Kind as a large, massively go tall turn. But you need a lot of things to line up, unfortunately, because you can only play cards from your arsenal. So you need to have something in your arsenal ready to be able to reload to keep going. So that's the issue.
What's the card lets you activate the bow multiple times? Perhaps you could work that in for something like that.
Triflock blue also.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so you could do that as well. Yeah. But yeah, it's hard to line up. But again, maybe we'll see some more stuff in the future that allows us to take advantage of Three of a Kind, which is just an Azalea card. The art's there, the flavor text is from Azalea, but she just can't use it very well. We'll see. Next we have DGTCG saying, representing the Azalea cult out in the wild. Hashtag Azalea cult, hashtag FabTCG. So this was the actual, one of the new Azalea cult mats as well that I had done recently. So it's nice to see that out in the wild being played. So thanks, David. Lovely old job. Then we had Kieran, the Ragamuffin Man. I met you at Lille. You were easy to spot with your pink hair, which was fantastic. So when you're out on events, it's always good to wear like an identifying piece of head gear so people can see you out in the crowd. Similar to Adam Philipchuk from the Combat Chain was wearing an orange cap, so I could always find where he was.
Or you could be like Tommy at Fresh and Buds wearing the big sign,
Yeah, exactly.
Get everybody's attention as well.
Yeah, brilliant. So innovative event apparel, which is nice. So he was saying, fellow Azalea cult members, answer me this: what is your go-to arrow for Icelander? My current strategy is to wish really hard that they get bad draws, which isn't the most reliable of methods. It's a nice bit of comedy.
It's as reliable as most of the other methods we have right now. So
that's right. Yeah. I do have a VAT. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there isn't really much that does anything to Icelander, unfortunately. I mean, the one I would get against this, because I actually played against in a CC event in Lille. I played in side event CC 4 rounds. And I played against 1 Bravo and 3 Icelanders in that event. And my Icelander matchups,
punishment there.
Yeah. So Bravo rinsed me. Played against Shen Ang, lovely guy, and I played against 3 Icelanders. So my results for the Icelanders were 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 loss. So I didn't do as too bad as I thought I would, and that was because I was turtling. I had a lot of blues in the deck, and there was a lot of the Dreadbore helped because there was a combo-y piece in there called Sigil of Permafrost, which it was turning off. One of the Icelander cards, which says it's a defense reaction. And then if they've been dealt arcane damage, you get that many frostbites. So that entire card was shut off. And
did you run all no rune? I assume with Icelander as well.
I ran. So I did with the first one, yeah. So I ran the obviously cross wrap, bullseye bracers, and null rune boots. Were all in there. It's great as well because obviously cross wrap and bracers have arcane barrier on there anyway, so you don't really need to change those out. And then the boots were null rune, and the equipment was a tunic that I was using. But yeah, I had a lot of blues in there, so I was preventing a lot of arcane damage. And the arrow that I kept going to get was Endless Arrow because I just kept firing it, and then they have to keep making the decision as to is he going to be able to fire that again at me next turn with a buffed ability or what have you. So I do have an answer for this, and it would be the Endless Arrow I would go and get, just so you can just keep firing it, and just turtle up and just block with blows of blue cards from hand or what have you. That would be the arrow I would use against Icelander. And my results aren't. I haven't played too many. I played 3 in that event, and that's all I played. But my record was 1-1-1. So, going to time against an Icelander, like what's that about? I was so surprised about going to time against an Icelander. But
yeah, I'm pretty surprised too, because you think of that as basically most people approaching it as a race. So
yeah,
bringing it to time is pretty interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So I was surprised with that. And the only other Icelander loss came in the form of a hybrid Icelander, which was using attack action cards and pummels. As well as, it caught me off guard. So I was like, I put my null rune boots in there and everything and stuff, and then they came in with like pummeled frost fangs, and I was like, oh great, here we go. So that's going to hit me. I'm going to discard a card. Plus, if I don't pay 2, I'm going to discard another card. It's like a crippling crush in Icelander. So that was an interesting.
Have you played much Icelander as Azalea, Lynnette?
A little bit. One of my friends is an Icelander main. So doing a lot of training against her, and she tends to, I've almost decked her a couple of times, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it?
Oh, so you kind of turtle it out too a little bit, or?
A little bit, because I'm running a few more blues than I used to. That's.
I think in this meta you do, because you're going to come across a lot of frostbite, and a lot of arcane damage, obviously, in the form of Icelander. So I think more blues in Azalea is definitely needed going forward. So yeah, definitely endorse that. Cool. Then we got a couple of battle reports from people. So Dave, TCG, was when he said he was repping the Azalea mat out in the wild, this was his result on the day, which is a bit unfortunate, but again, people playing Azalea is always good, trying to push through that underdog story. So at skirmish, first round down, got attack reactions to death by Dory. Yeah, Dory's hard. It was close, but had the dreaded no arrow hand and lost tempo. So that's always a tough one, isn't it? No arrow hand, unfortunately. Got Dory down
all too often, unfortunately.
It does indeed, yeah. Got Dory down to 1 life, then she hit me with an attack reaction and game was over, so 0-1. And then he mentioned that there are 2 Azaleas in a field of 13.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, exactly. Not too bad. Himself included. Round 2, he got fied. Couldn't get any tempo and just had to throw my hand in too many times. So, yeah.
I love that it's just an adjective now. Well, I got fied.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just too explosive in that if you don't stop or control that explosiveness, it just blows up and just rinses you, especially in Blitz as well. I can imagine it's over very quickly. And then his third round was against Oldhim. Match started with a Macho Grande to the face and went downhill from there. Too many bad hands and too many frostbites. So yeah, this is where a lot of blues will help. So I'm not sure about his build in this particular one, but yeah, a lot of blues will help Azalea going forward. Final 2 turns hit me with red pummel, ran Dreadbore, and that missing card draw from Death Dealer plus the frostbites really killed the deck. So again, Dreadbore not doing and missing the card draw from Death Dealer here. Which is a bit of a shame. And then he got a bye as well in that event, so he went 1-3. So it's a bit of a shame, bit of a tough day, but that's always the day that you have to expect with Azalea, unfortunately. What's your thoughts on your favourite bows and stuff to use, Lynnette? What do you go for normally? Because you've heard our favourites so far.
So when I started, I kind of went for the red liner a bit more, but I've kind of gone back to I will play Death Dealer 90% of the time, but
Okay.
I'm just toying with a Dreadbore list.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're getting the go again in other ways. So
Nice.
so, but yeah, Death Dealer is definitely my favourite at the moment for Azalea.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, if you know you're not playing someone that relies heavily on the defense reactions, it's always the better choice, I think. Just for the floating resources and the drawing a card is definitely an enabler. So I agree with that. Pish Posh in the Discord saying took Azalea to Blitz Armory last night and went 2-1. Game 1 was against Dromai and they won. Hit her 3 times, Red in the Ledger twice, and then twice with Remorseless. So lovely.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
That's a good run.
That's lovely. That's a good one. That's what we like to see. Game 2 was against Kasai. Again, that's always a hard one because she just accumulates value over time if you let her hit. With the coppers, it was really close. Battering Bolt put in some work, and Red in the Ledger delayed Blood on her hand's turn. So still a loss, unfortunately, but nice to see Battering Bolt putting in some work. So that does work against warriors because they do have a lot of reactions in their hand, which then they have to discard.
Oh yeah,
they deal damage.
Yeah, it works well.
Yeah, so that's always a nice little option to put in there against warriors. And then Game 3 against Valda was a win. Rain Razor and Razor Reflex allowed Endless Arrow to hit multiple times.
Oh, that's cool. I like that combo.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, nice. Because Razor Reflex gives all of your arrows +2 for the turn, like permanently for that turn, doesn't it?
Yep, all arrows.
So Endless Arrows coming in for 6 every time you shoot it after that. That's pretty good. I didn't think of that. And then Razor Reflex giving it go again and all that sort of good stuff. Lovely. That's a spicy bit of tech, Pish Posh. Thank you very much. We'll have a look at that later, I'm sure. Sweet. And then we got a story from you as well, Lynnette, which actually came up in my Lille trip as well. So did you want to explain what happened here with the Arsenal effect and the freezing?
So playing against a wizard again, they tried to freeze the card in my arsenal. Because they only freeze the card in my arsenal. I was able to see what was on top with read the glide path and then take that one off the top and Azalea it out.
Yeah, brilliant. And that's
because that's technically that card just gone to the bottom. It's not the arsenal it's frozen, not just the card.
No, it has to. All it gets frozen from is being played, or if it has an ability, that ability being activated. So other things affecting it is just fine.
Yeah. Nice. And I thought of you as well when this exact interaction came up when I was playing an Armour event in Lille a couple of weeks ago, and the Icelander player did in fact freeze my arsenal, and I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. And they looked at me like, what do you mean it's fine? And then it went to my turn, and I was like, activate Azalea, get rid of the card that you've frozen, and then just be able to play the card. And they were like, huh? Judge? And I was like, yeah, this is correct. Because
yeah, we had to do a judge call ourselves because we were playing online on TTS, and we just like asked a few friends. Kiki was one of them.
Yeah.
How does this work, and we got 3 people back with the same answer. So.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, very, very good. So the arsenal being frozen does not matter with Azalea's ability because you switch out the card that is frozen to something that's not, basically.
It's a pretty common misunderstanding for people that haven't dealt with Frozen much, just because, I mean, you think by the name of it, Frozen, you think like, okay, it can't do anything. But no, it's very specific in what Frozen does, and it's, you can absolutely affect it.
Yeah, exactly, and it's a interaction and a mechanic that doesn't come up often, like freezing the arsenal doesn't really come up often, and then also the fact Azalea's activated ability, you're not going to see that often, are you? Let's be honest. So the fact that both of those interactions together is throwing people off is quite funny. So yeah, Azalea getting round frozen arsenals, brilliant. So that was a nice little thing to add. And then we go on to a couple of tweets that revolve around Azalea getting the first Living Legends points. So this was won by Justin Sop, who is in the Discord, actually. Goes by the name of Mr. Clean in the Discord. So if you're watching this and you are in the Discord, that is who it is. That's the person who won with Azalea at their skirmish. So take heed of what they say, because they know what they're speaking about. So a couple of tweets on here from Fabrary. Saying that hashtag the Azalea cult breathes a huge sigh of relief after receiving confirmation that Azalea is just as good as the meme hero who won playing a generic pummel list. In all serious, way to go, Justin, doing more work to give Azalea LL points than LSS ever did. So there we go. So fantastic report. Thank you, Fabwary, for that, and thanks for the hashtag as well. We get to see these things. We search the Azalea Cult hashtags every time a new episode comes up, and we add these in. So keep using it if you are out there in the big wide world and you want to share your Azalea tales. Use that. And then our good friend Mr. Red Zone Rogue also did a video on Justin's Azalea deck, and it got about 3,000 views. So very good. So people want to know what's going on here. And he says, I don't believe it. The impossible has been done. No,
I question his lack of faith with that line, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to bug him about that. The impossible has been done. It's not impossible.
It's not impossible, Kel. All you have to do is believe.
Yeah. We believe.
Exactly. Manifest that win. But he says, no, I'm not talking about eBay buying TCG player. Azalea has won a tournament. First place Azalea. Shocked face. Let's talk about this landmark deck in the history of Flesh and Blood. And obviously, he's done a video there, so I'll float up the thumbnail that he made, and you can go and navigate yourself to that if you haven't seen it already. I'm sure you have. Yeah, very, very good. And following on from the tweets here, we are due an interview with Justin shortly. It was going to be a lot sooner, but Lille and debauchery that happened over there got in the way of that, unfortunately. But it will be coming to the Azalea Cult soon, don't worry. And then we had a few Azalea Cult mailboxes, only one this week, and that's from DACM in the Discord. And they're saying this is just basically somewhere where people can sort of leave comments or questions on Azalea and what they want might thrown out into the aether. So they're saying, I hope that they give specializations to all the heroes that struggle with the current meta. So we might see more specializations, because obviously Everfest gave us specializations for heroes. It didn't necessarily have them before. So maybe we do see expansions on that. Maybe more Azalea stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'd like to see a lot more focus on just Ranger in general, because they really haven't, other than the bits of equipment here and there in the other sets, had much focus at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Give me a non-elemental bow, please.
Yeah, Yeah, if rune blades can have a non-elemental rune blade weapon support in Tales, why couldn't we have the Voltaire? You know, I don't know whether it would have made much difference to Azalea, but it would have just been nice to be able to brew with it, you know?
Yeah, have something.
I unfortunately think we're going to have to wait till we go to... Oh, sorry, Lynnette. But yeah, I was just saying I don't think we're going to have to wait till we probably go to the Matrix or the pits to get anything like that, unfortunately.
I think so, yeah. And they go on to say, I wonder how they would power up Azalea without breaking Azalea, because all Azalea cards are Lexi cards, but it is not the same in the reverse. No, that's correct. So if you were to power up the generic Ranger, you also power up Lexi, because Lexi can access all of those things. So it's a tough one to crack now, isn't it? Because if you power up the generic Ranger, you're also giving that to Lexi. Unless you... there was a very good design in the Discord, which was like a keyword called pristine. Someone made it up. It wasn't in this one because they submitted a different design, but the pristine mechanic that they made up means that they can't have talented cards in their deck, but the pristine mechanic gave them extra abilities or something like that. So it rewards people for not being talented. It's more like a pure specialization in just Ranger. So maybe something that sort of pays off for having no talents, but I think the way we're going, it's either going to be dual classes or more talents going forward. Unfortunately, I think the older heroes are going to be outraced, aren't they?
More than likely, unfortunately, but we'll always believe. Don't worry,
we'll always believe. So hopefully Azalea can get Living Legends points before she's remade into a talented hero or whatever. Hopefully we get the original Azalea some CC Living Legend points eventually. We'll see. But yeah, that leads us to the design and armor piece competition. So there's going to be 3 winners today because we've got 3 people on. So we're just going to whiz through these and see what the community wants to see or would love to see in the future from LSS. So LSS, if you're watching this, there's some sick ideas in here. So yeah, first of all, we've got rope-bound bracers from Winter Wolf in the Discord. So this is a Ranger Equipment Arms, blocks for 2. And as an instant, you can destroy. Instant. When an arrow attack you control hits an opposing hero, you may pay 2. So whenever an arrow hits, you can pay 2 as an instant. If you do, deal 1 damage to that hero, and that arrow gains. Return this arrow to hand when the combat chain closes. So it's basically a way of just giving something an endless arrow ability, which is quite nice.
It's the Scorpion ability, right?
Yeah.
Get over here.
Get over here. Yeah. So the arrow that you want to return to your hand is attached to the rope, which you're firing at them.
The visual of that is kind of interesting, like seeing an arrow being fired with a rope attached to it. I mean, I guess you've seen that in some movies and things, but not really in a fight. It's usually like, put up your grappling rope or something.
Yeah. Nice. But that's cool. Yeah, I like the fact that it's a way of getting that arrow back to hand if you want it cut all the time. So we know we love our Red and the Ledgers and Remorses. So if an arrow hits, we can pay 2 and bring it back to hand. But paying 2 is quite hard.
It is expensive, but can you imagine how many you can pop off there if you got Memorial Ground and other such mechanics to get that card back?
Exactly. So that's rope bound from Winter Wolf. Next we have Death's Aid. So this is from E Darkness on the Discord as well, and I don't know where this screen grab is from. So you'll see these as they're floating up, but I don't know who this character is.
So it's like a Mad Max kind of look, but I don't recognize it either.
I think so, yeah. That would be an impressive cosplay. Look at the armor on that. That'll be a hot day. Cool, so this is Ranger Equipment Arms again, blocks for 2, Blade Break. The other one was also Blade Break, I should say. And it says, at the start of the game, you may choose an arrow card and banish it face down with an arrow counter. When you defend with Death's Aid, you may reveal an arrow with an arrow counter on it from the banish zone, treat it as if it were in your arsenal, and you may use it as if it were an instant this turn. So yeah, it's a nice little way of storing. We have a few of these, I believe, and we have had them in the past as well. It's having the ability to call upon an arrow of your choice at any time. You sort of basically have an arrow stored away that you can use at crucial moments, which I think is a nice thing.
Particularly like the flavor text on this one too.
Yeah, which says, I may be out of arrows, but I'm not out of options.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. But we've seen a lot of that design space, just being able to mess around with your opponent psychologically, and I think that is a good space for them to explore in the future. So that's Death's Aid by E-Darkness. The next one is very cool design space. So this is from Yaziel. Apologies if I've butchered that name there. I'm so sorry. So this is a dual sort of equipment. So this is the collector, which is a ranger equipment chest, blocks for 1, blade break, and it says you may start the game with a fingerbone arrow in your banished zone. So we'll get onto the fingerbone arrow in a moment. And it says anytime you activate your bow, you may banish a card from your hand to put an arrow card from your banished zone into your hand. Okay. And then the fingerbone arrow is a legendary, so you only have one of them. Attacks for 4 and costs 1 to play. And it says if it hits, banish it. So it's like a comboed with the collector. It's an arrow that you can keep firing all the time. So it's sort of a way of having a weapon almost, which is quite nice.
It's kind of translating the Phoenix Flame from Phi, I guess, into the Ranger space a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Endless Arrow.
That
Yeah.
too.
Endless Arrow, salvage shot.
Salvage.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, so something that keeps coming back, but obviously not to the bottom of your deck, to your hand.
More
And I do approve of the art on Fingerbone. I don't know if that was you, Az, or them, but it's right on point.
That is
for fab PCB cards.
It really is, isn't it? That was them as well. It wasn't me. That was all they're doing. So good job. Cool. So next one is called Climbing Boots, and this is from a new patron of the channel as well, Chemical. So thank you very much for supporting us on that level. That's fantastic. So Climbing Boots doesn't block for anything, unfortunately, but it says as an action you can destroy Climbing Boots. Your next arrow attack gains +3 power. If that attack hits, the first attack you're on your next turn loses X power, where X is the damage dealt by your arrow attack. And Azalea flavor text is never underestimate a good pair of boots. So it's quite a cool little space because it allows you to destroy it to give something quite a large buff. 3 power is quite a large buff on any arrow, but then your next arrow attack on your next turn is weakened. So it gives you the ability to
good finisher.
Yeah,
when you're not going to have another turn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you've got a really, really good finisher ability there. And if on your next turn, you could just sit back, refresh your hand, maybe lay a trap down as your turn, and then just carry on.
Have set up, yeah.
So yeah, I think that's quite cool. Climbing Boots. Thanks, Chemical. Next, we've got Bird in the Hand. This is from BrownKid09 in the Discord. And this is going on with the trap theme that we discussed earlier. So this is arms, blocks for 2, blade break. It says you may play trap cards from your hand as normal defense reactions. So you can just play your traps as if they were just normal defense reactions. And then as a once per turn instant, you may banish a defense reaction from your graveyard. If you do, draw a card. So yeah, that is definitely making traps playable, isn't it?
Might actually be a little OP, but we'll see.
Yeah. So
broken.
Yeah, but that's what we like. We have a bit of broken. Would this make Azalea S tier? Probably not.
Since it's just defense reactions, you're right. Probably not.
Yeah. So this is trap cards as well. So yeah, I mean I like it though. I like the fact that people want traps to be good because let's be honest, it is a nice space to explore thematically. So thanks, BrownKid09. Next we have Sparrow Vest. This is from Ban Azalea. Remember Ban Azalea, the Twitter account? Lovely.
Absolutely.
So love and life. So this is two defense ranger equipment chest. Has battle worn though, so it just gets the -1 counters on it, so you can defend with it twice. And as a once per turn instant, you can banish a non-attack action card. If you do, gain 1 resource, opt 1, and then draw a card. So I imagine that banish a non-attack action is from hand. I imagine, isn't it? Doesn't specify where it is.
It would almost have to be, I think.
Yeah, banish an action card from your hand. If you do, draw 1, gain 1 resource, opt 1, and draw 1. So yeah, nice little way of getting rid of those non-attack action cards and turning them into other things. So yeah, that's quite cool. Just giving us extra options that we can do to filter our hand, which is what Azalea wants to do, I guess.
Maybe do that draw card first, then the opt.
Yeah. Maybe the other way around, yeah. But, yeah. Sparrow Vest from Ban Azalea. Next we've got Log Dog. So Log Dog's appeared quite a few times in the Azalea Cult episodes with battle reports and designs and stuff. And this is Grasp of the Bandit Queen. Lovely title there. Ranger Equipment Arms, blocks for 2. It's got Blade Break. And it says, if you've played a non-attack action card this turn, the first Ranger attack action card you play this turn gains +1. If it hits a hero, they discard a card. That's nice. Yeah, I love hand interaction. And it also says, arrows you control have defense reactions can't be played from Arsenal, this chain link. So combo that with Dreadboy, they can't play defense reactions at all. Okay. And then the flavor text is awesome. Once her target is selected, your end is guaranteed. Awesome. That's good stuff.
Yeah, because I eat that, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Quality. Grass of the Bandit Queen from Log Dog. Next we have another submission. This is from Justin, the Living Legends man. Living Legends points for Azalea. And he wants to see trap cards be viable as well by the looks of it. So Trapper's Hands is the next card. Doesn't block for anything, has Arcane Barrier 1, and it just says you may play trap cards from your hand as though they were in your arsenal. So maybe a fairer version of what we saw earlier. So yeah. Yeah. I'd be happy to run a weird build using these. And maybe we do. Maybe in the future there's a special Azalea Cult episode where we use fan-submitted equipment as a game against each other or something.
Oh, that'd be wild. Yeah.
It would be wild, wouldn't it? Fan-submitted equipments with Azalea. See what happens.
Some of those arrows too.
Yeah, exactly. Some of the arrows as well. Yeah. Brilliant. Then we got Bloodletting Gloves. From Del Figalo 5, we heard from him earlier. He's the one who won the Cold Foil Dramai at his event from running Azalea. Bloodletting Gloves. This is Ranger Equipment Arms, blocks for 2, Blade Break, and the first time an arrow card is placed face up into an empty arsenal zone you control, it gains when this hits a hero, they lose 1 life. So every arrow becomes a searing shot. So yeah. Cool, I guess.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if it is overpowered or if it would not make a difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like one or the other. I don't feel like there's a middle ground right now.
No.
Just a buff.
Just a bit of extra leaky damage coming through, I guess, isn't it? So
yes, more incentive to block it because you're going to get that one over.
Yeah, exactly. So that's that. Next we have Ballista Bracers. So this is from Kaz Balerin in Discord. Blocks for 2. It's got Temper. Haven't played Temper in ages. I can't remember what that does. Temper. It's a -1 thing, isn't it? And then I can't remember what it does.
Then destroys when it gets to 0, I believe.
Right. Okay. Oh yeah, and then Battle Worn is the one there. If it gets to 0, you can still use a thing, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. Okay, yeah, that's the one. Cool. Temper. So once per turn effect, dominated arrows get +2 attack. That's it. So once per turn, if you dominate an arrow, it gets +2. So works in tandem with Azalea's ability and also just forces extra damage through.
Yeah, just some extra damage.
Yeah. I think that could be quite good. I was struggling against an Oldhim recently. I was playing against Oldhim, and he was on 2 life, and I was on 1. And the only damage I couldn't get through was 2, because he had Crown of Seeds, which prevents 1 damage, and the Rampart, which is also preventing 1. So his board state late game was still blocking 2 damage every time with a card from hand, even though it was dominated. So he was still blocking 5 each time I was shooting. So that's horrible. So yeah, maybe just an extra little buff on an equipment could be nice. So
yeah, and you saw in some of the battle reports earlier that people were getting within 5 or 6-ish health, so maybe that little extra does it.
Yeah, maybe the little extra does it, whether that's in the form of these dominated arrows getting +2 or whenever it hits they lose a life. So yeah, more leaking damage through maybe.
Yeah, just that little bit more to take you over the top.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's what we need. Next we've got Braces of Swiftness from Spirit Dancer. I met Spirit Dancer at Lille. A fantastic Italian man. So it was good meeting you. So this is Braces of Swiftness. Blocks for 2, and it's Battle Worn. So obviously, if you got 2 counters on this, you can still activate the ability. So it says, whenever a face-up arrow in your arsenal gets a bonus, you may put a counter on this card instead. So he goes into what a bonus is in a moment. And it says, whenever you fire an arrow, remove all counters from this card. The arrow gains +1 power for each counter removed this way. So a bonus may be increased power, dominate, or any other temporary effect or ability. So if you get like a keyword like dominate added to a card, it's a bonus. If you get a +1 added to it, it's a bonus, etc. And every time you get a bonus, you can put a counter on the arrow instead. And then once per turn instant, you can put back into your hand a card from your arsenal. So again, just a way of getting stuff back into your hand if you put something there, you don't want it there anymore, I guess. So yeah, lots of utility on there. So thanks for that submission, Spirit Dancer. Next we've just got a quiver. This is just what it's called, a quiver. And yeah, every ranger needs one of these to hold the arrows in. So this is a quiver. This is from Andrew Mason. This is a blade break equipment, blocks for 2. At the start of the game, place 3 different arrows under this card. So they have to be different ones. They can't all be the same. And it says, once per turn action, place one of the arrows under this card face up in the arsenal or on top of your deck, and then go again. So this is something that I could see being very useful, because Azalea has a lot of cards that interact with different matchups. Like, you got stuff that halves the attack of Guardians. You've got stuff that takes away everyone's action points. You've got stuff that turns off heroes if you put them to sleep with a sleep dart. So if you've got the ability to put any of those on top of your deck and dominate them, or any of them into your arsenal at any time and go again afterwards for no resource, I think that's probably what Azalea...
I think... Yeah, you would only want to use this to go to the top of the deck, I think, just because that's so powerful. So it's basically really addressing the no arrow hand, as well as the ability to basically force dominate the arrow you want. So it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, I quite like it. It's quite good. Good space done there.
Yeah, exactly. And Rangers always have arrows in their quiver, so they should be able to, like Hawkeye from the Avengers, pick the arrow that he wants at that time and then fire it off. So I think that is a space which could be good for Ranger. It's like a sideboard within the game. Like, it's a separate sideboard that you use within game that you can really, really force and hurt any matchup, because Azalea has the arrows to do that. It's just a nice way of getting tempo back as well, potentially, because you've got 3 certain arrows in your quiver that you can fire off, maybe using a tunic resource to get if it costs 1 on a certain turn or what have you. It's loads of implications what this could have on Azalea. So yeah, very good design from Andrew Mason there.
Kind of a knock with death whistle on demand.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. Knock with death whistle on demand for the 3 arrows that you've chosen at the start of the game. So yeah, you probably wouldn't even need a sideboard with this. Your sideboard would be,
deciding which arrows are in the quiver basically is what you're going to treat the sideboard as. Yeah,
and then everything else is just a bonus. Every other sideboard is just a bonus. So you get more cards, you get more card advantage above from your opponents because you've got a sideboard on a piece of armor. So yeah, so that's cool. Next one is Trapper's Curious. So we've had 3 trap-related things so far. This is another one. So this is from Cerebrus in the Discord. This is a battle-worn equipment, Ranger chest, blocks for 1. And it says, while you have a face-down card in your arsenal, you may have additional arsenal zones. So similar to New Horizon, but it has to be face-down instead, which is quite cool. So
may fix some of the scenarios. I'll have to think about that a little more.
Yeah. So this will work as well with cross wrap. So if you reload a card into your arsenal, you then get an additional arsenal zone. So that's great. So you've replaced that. Then you can use the cross wrap to flip up the one you've just had. But then you would lose the arsenal zone, wouldn't you? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it needs to be thought on a little bit more. As I was just going through there, I discovered that wouldn't work. Never mind. But yeah, as an instant, you can destroy it and then double the effect of all traps on the combat chain, which I think is good. It's quite cool, interesting ability. So your tripwire traps would then become 8 defense, and then your pitfall traps would become 6 defense. So you're buffing your traps, which I think is a nice little space to operate in. especially if you're against big, massive swingers like Bravo and stuff. Having 8 defense on a trap is quite nice. And then making them having to pay 1, otherwise their crippling crushes don't resolve because it stops the on-hit effect. Well, actually, no, it'd be pay 2 because it's doubling the effect. So yeah, that's a quite nice little piece against things that want to smack you very hard, like brutes and guardians.
Yeah, not too broken because you can only do it once.
Yeah, exactly. At instant speed, you have to destroy it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's definitely not OP. Cool. So we've got a few more left. So next we got Deadly Step from Mustache Woo. So again, another prominent member of Azalea cult, always asking questions, always in the Discord and what have you, and also ask questions in the Living Legends podcast as well. So thanks, Gabby Woo, I believe your name is. Deadly Step. So this is Ranger equipment legs, cost nothing. It doesn't cost anything because it's an equipment, but it doesn't block for anything. That's what I was trying to say. So instant speed, you can pay 1 and destroy this. Until end of turn, whenever an arrow you control hits, you gain an action point and spell void 2. So
trying to help a go wide build, I guess. Yeah. So whenever an arrow you control hits this turn, you gain an action point. So yeah, that could really make you go off if you are going wide. So cool, nice to see some go wide support as well. People do want it to work, so we'll see if it can work in the future. Next we have Pascal. So this is the aforementioned Guardian Azalea player who loves pitch stacking to the end. This is the guy we saw in the Ultimate Pit Fight Patreon special. This is what he was using, or this is what his strategy was. So Pascal has designed a card called Red Hood. So this blocks for 3, just straight up blocks for 3, and it says you can equip Red Hood even if you have another headpiece or another head equipment. So that's cool because, yeah, you would, if you think of a hood, you can put the hood over a helmet, really, can't you? It would be quite a steely and, very sort of sturdy hood if it blocks for 3, but still. I think of the hood on the cross wraps as blocking for 3, that big thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is made out of dragon scales, made out of Drumai scales or something.
Nice.
Yeah. So I like the space though. It's like also giving exploring a space where even if you have a head equipment, you can have like another trinket on your armor. So maybe we will see that in the future, like trinkets where you can equip different extra things for positive, and then maybe some downside
to modify existing armor. That's actually I like that idea a lot.
Yeah, I think we might have been Living Legends, or it could have been this, but I think we might have spoken it in our circle at least about equipping or augmenting armor, maybe coming in metrics or metrics, because of the fact they're steampunky, they want to sort of augment armor and guns and all that sort of stuff.
Modify.
That's it. Yeah, modify the equipment to do extra things and stuff, and maybe even put the fabled gems into the pieces of equipment, like the Infinity Gauntlet, so you can start doing things. But yeah, cheers, Pascal.
I just had a thought too, like this Red Hood idea. Maybe we could have a material in Flesh and Blood that's kind of like mithril or something, where it's like really thin and light, but it's super hard, I guess. So it can take a hit.
It's like Bilbo says, it's light as a feather, but as strong as dragon scales.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Bilbo Baggins, what a guy. Maybe we'll see hobbits in the future. Anyway, and last but not least, we have your one, Lynnette. Obviously, you submitted one as well, because why not? But you're appearing in this episode, so thanks anyway. So can you see this on the screen? Did you want to read your design out? Would you want me to do it?
So it is the Reloading Quiver, and it's a once per turn action, pay 2. You may look at the top 3 cards of your library. If you get an arrow card, put it into an empty arsenal slot. It should be face up. I didn't put that in there.
That's all right.
Rest on the bottom of your library. Go again. And it's got blade break.
For 2. Nice. Cool. And what's the picture all about? You said that was a special picture as well?
So that's actually the quiver I made.
Yeah, that's your quiver, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
So I went out in the garden, took a photo by the tree. Because I'm not an artist. I'm not the one to draw things.
Yeah, so just that's fine. You're definitely an artist. You'll make the thing instead and then take a picture. That's better. That's pure craftsmanship. So yeah, good job. So that's that one. So that's nice, and hopefully we'll see some other images of your creations spliced into this video as well. So we'll see some of those more. So yeah, obviously you're part of the judge panel today, Lynnette. So we can't make your one win, unfortunately.
That's all right. It's not to be included.
Yeah, exactly. So shall I go first? Shall I choose one first? Or has anybody got?
Go for it.
Okay, cool. So just based on the sheer fact that I was just chatting about it for about 5 minutes after I read it, and that's Mr. Mason's quiver. So yeah, this is an area that I think would be explored, or should be explored in the future. Is the fact you can call upon any arrow at any time to deal with any matchup or certain situation, because Azalea is, we spoke about it before, she is a toolbox hero. She wants to be able to, and she can, deal with multiple matchups, but it's just getting the right things at the right time. And no arrow hands are always a killer. So if you start the game with 3 different arrows in your quiver, like you would do anyway if you're a ranger, you have the arrows at your disposal at all times. I think the quiver would solve a lot of issues that we have, and I'd love to test it, just to see if it could help. So yeah, I'm going to choose Andrew Mason as my winner for this. Because I think it solves a lot of the issues that we spoke about in the past with the consistency and the timing of what you want to do. So yeah,
for sure. And actually, that would have been my pick as well. So good on you.
So I've screwed you over now. Then you have to try and think of another one. Sorry, Lynnette, have you got one in the meantime? Can you say one that stands out to you?
I quite like Sparrow's Vest by Ben Azalea. Even though I feel that the little bit of the order, maybe opt first.
Yeah.
But I really like the whole concept of being able to get rid of that hand when you don't have an arrow in hand. I like that kind of space that they're going with, and the battle one is good because we don't have that.
No, that's right. Yeah, it's all blade break, isn't it? Yeah, or no defense at all. So
yeah.
Just a nice little piece that you can use to filter your hand that sticks around, that allows you to block multiple times throughout the game. So yeah. That's definitely a good choice.
Like that one.
Nice one. So yeah, Ban Azalea gets Lynnette's approval for that one. So well done, Ban Azalea.
Yeah, good choice.
Nice. And that leaves you, Mr. Jim. Which one are you choosing?
Sure, I am going to have to go with Mr. Cleans. I'm going to go with the Trapper's Hands.
Oh, nice.
I like the idea of bringing the traps in a little more into the gameplay. Being able to play from hand is obviously a quick way to do that.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people have want traps to work, and there's a lot of designs in here that are looking for traps to work. So it's nice to see that a lot of the community wants to use those traps for benefit, because some of them are very good. The rate on them that you can get, are very good, and they do screw with people because you can deal damage on one of them. You can stop on hit effects from the other one, and the other one just gives you a good rate unless they pay a certain amount. So traps, good people, and therefore that's why Jim's chosen Trapper's Hands. So fair play. So seal of approval on Jim for that one. Nice. So that's pretty much it really for the Azalea Cult 4. Unfortunately, we didn't have too many official equipments to really look at, because obviously there isn't many at the moment. But hopefully Dynasty might solve that issue and give us more to look at in the future. But stay tuned to the Azalea Cult, because we're going to be spoiling something from Dynasty. Maybe it is an equipment, maybe it's something else, but make sure you subscribe and all that good stuff to find out. But before we close it off, Lynnette, where can people find you on the World Wide Web?
So I'm on Twitter, I'm Fabled Hero NZ. On Instagram, I'm Fabled Hero NZ. I also have my Fabled Hero NZ on Facebook, but I have Blackjack's Noticeboard where I put a lot of my Fab related stuff.
Cool, nice. There's a Flesh and Blood cosplay Facebook as well. You set that up, didn't you, originally?
Yeah, I was going to say to plug that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got Flesh and Blood cosplay page. where I'm trying to share all of the cosplay stuff, because it can get lost in the fan page. So it's also, if anyone's interested, we also have a Discord group where we just chat and talk about different things. We've got the European winner from one of the competitions. We've got a couple of the American winners and the Australian winner on there as well.
Nice.
So we can pop and shoot with your friends.
Yeah, lovely. And there's a lot of intricacies that go into cosplay as well. So you learn from the best getting that Discord. Jim, where can people find you if they don't know where you are already?
Oh, yeah, for sure. At all things Fab TCG cards. Mostly active, though, on Twitter. And then, obviously, my website for singles and playmats. Nice. That's the best place to find me. And just wanted to say, again, Lynnette, it was awesome getting to chat with you. And I know we've chatted kind of in text form and otherwise, but it's awesome to get to chat with you.
Yeah. Pleasure.
Seconded, absolutely. Thanks for coming on. It's been great as the original OG Azalea cosplayer. I'm sure again you would have seen a lot of images spliced in today, or spliced another one in now for you of Lynnette in all of her Azalea glory right now in front of you on your screens, in front of your eyeballs right now. Fantastic. This has been Go Again Gaming and the Azalea Cult. Thank you very much for joining us today, and thanks again, Lynnette, for popping on. And probably get you back on the future if you're up for it as well.
Yeah. For sure, no problem.
To dive into some lore, as long as you can get up really early in the morning again.
No problem. I'm a morning person.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. Praise be our glorious leader.
Praise be.
Praise be.